What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Hobby Hotline, episode 158. As always, my name is Drew, the DH, and joining me today, we got two awesome members of the hobby. First up, we've got Mr. 3B Collection himself, Herman. What's going on, man?
Not much. What's going on, man? You doing all right?
Not too much. I like the Braves gear, dude. Decked out in your Braves stuff, huh?
Always.
Hey, it's a good time to be a Braves fan right now.
Yeah. Till yesterday.
Yeah, till yesterday.
Yeah. Cubs had to ruin everything like
usual. And also joining me on the show, he needs no introduction. Everybody knows him, Mr. Brody the Kid. What's up, dude?
What's up, Drew?
It's been a while. How you doing?
Good. How about you?
Doing good. Can't complain. So hope everybody's having a good day today out there. As always, what's up, Chris Harris? Everybody in the chat, thanks for stopping in. Hope everybody's having a good day today. I'm going to be putting the link into the chat. If you would like to call into the show, audio or video, the link is right up there for you. Please feel free to call in with any questions, anything that you'd like to discuss whatsoever. That's what we're here for, and that's what we're going to do. What's going on, Frank? Hope all is well. Hope everyone's having a good one. But, guys, we'll dive right into it. We got a couple of pretty interesting topics today. And obviously, anything that you guys have, we would love to talk about. I'm trying to find the actual post here. But just the other day, it was announced that Fanatics had made a major new hire. You know, we talked about Beckett and their new hire recently. But Fanatics kind of swooped in with a pretty big new acquisition. I mean, new man in charge. I mean, we have someone new in charge right here, and there'd been a lot of speculation on Luber and everything that was going on behind the scenes right there. But with Fanatics doing this right now, hiring the former Dick Clark Productions CEO. So, I mean, this is Mike Mahan. No relation to Jimmy Mahan, our good friend over at Kentucky Roadshow Cards. But, you know, hiring a brand new CEO to run the card division, including Zero Cool and everything else, which was Luber's baby. What did you guys think about when you saw Fanatics making this move?
Go ahead, bro.
Oh, it's interesting. I mean, obviously, like you said, there's been a lot of stuff with Uber that's been, I guess, questionable or divided in the hobby, whether you thought it was good or bad, or good for the future, bad for the future. Yeah, I don't really know. This interesting hire, especially like you said with the Zero Cool stuff, because like you said, that was all Luber's.
Yeah.
That. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about the fact that he doesn't have a hobby background, back and forth. But I mean, it's nice to have somebody with a hobby background, just like when you know,
Beckett,
and then PSA buyout with I dropped his name, but I mean, he had a hobby background. It's somebody like that, you know, they know how collectors think.
Yeah.
They appeal to the collector, but at the same time, they're there to make money.
Yes.
With somebody with a business background, they're obviously they're going to look out for the collector as much as they can or know how to, because they want to make money. That's what they're there for. They want to make money for themselves as well as the company. So, I mean, it could be good either way.
Yeah, no, he does have a little bit of a hobby background. He's a very big high-end vintage collector.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
He's bought a decent amount of cards from me, actually, on eBay. I did not realize it was the same person, but it was. But a lot of my vintage he's actually bought. I know Ryan from Breakout, I know he's sold him a lot of vintage. It seems he's more of a vintage collector. It'll be but he does have somewhat of a hobby background, so he has the general knowledge, at least, of how the modern market works, you know, in general. But I think that 70s card show, my man, what's up, dude? I mean, you nailed it. Next logical step, scaling up, including talent and expertise. I think that, and I mentioned this when we did our 150th show earlier this week. I think that they honestly hired Josh Luber right out of the gate because he was someone that had just had a very, very successful business launched. He had started something amazing. He was deep into the hobby in terms of on the ground level. You'd see him at every single show in the world walking around as inconspicuous as possible. And he was a heavy collector. So I think they wanted someone at the start that had that collector background, that people could feel good that, oh, hey, he's a collector, he's this and that. But then you look at everything he's done since then, his manifesto, his you've also got his in addition to the manifesto, you've got the backyard break stuff, you've got all the other things that became issues with him in there. And honestly, I think they just ran out of stuff for him to do. I think honestly it's one of those things where, just like you said, scaling up, like, we hired you to start it, but now we found the people that we really want in place, people that have had experience in high business doing this stuff. And Mr. Luber, I mean, honestly, and I'm not trying to totally hit him back, but I would say that, maybe he doesn't know as much about the hobby business side of things as it was led to believe. So, a lot of interesting stuff going on there.
Well, it's like with StockX too. I mean, like, he started, like you said, and started a really successful thing, but once it really got going, they didn't really need him as much anymore because he had done what he needed to do, and now he just needed employees to run it. It wasn't much else to it.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. That 70s show, you got pop artists and you have people that actually write the songs. Fanatics needed a songwriter, not a singer. I agree. And Rex, you are correct. Luber was heavily involved in actually getting that deal done, which is why I'm even more convinced that this was basically, he was brought in to steer the ship at the beginning, but now it's time to move on. And I think he'll still be there. I think, in at least in terms of Fanatics, you're not going to get them to say, that there was anything bad or anything wrong with, anything he's doing. And we'll see what he continues to do. But he made up his own position of chief vision officer, so he can pretty much alter that whenever he wants to. But it's going to be interesting, as we say it like it's a long time away, but it's already almost national time, which we'll be talking about here in just a little bit. But this year's flying by. Fanatics is going to be starting to put out a lot of stuff. You're going to start to see their distribution channels start to be finalized. You're going to start to see kind of how they're going at stuff with brands, because they're going to test the unlicensed before the licensed market. This is a really big time where they're going to be changing a lot of stuff and really showing their hand on what's going to be going on in the future. So to see a new CEO come in, see all that, it's interesting to me. I wasn't shocked one bit, because I, along with the others, had mentioned that I've heard quite a bit of chatter that his role's being greatly reduced all the time. And even though Fanatics came out and said that that's not true, we're seeing it reduced almost weekly now.
I think, like you said too, it's like Uber came in, started it, got the train rolling, but it's go time now.
Yes.
And hasn't he's done this in the past? With other stuff, he stepped in, got something started, and then once it gets momentum, he steps down and out.
Oh no, that is 100% his MO. That's something that he's done quite a bit, and hey, it's worked out good for him. So obviously it's worked out great. Not knocking it one bit, but it's going to be interesting to see where he is in terms, once in a year from now, and it's going to be, and I'm really, really interested to see how much of a public presence he has on this, because for a while Luber was the face, you know what I mean? Like, obviously with Fanatics, you've got other people like Ruben and everyone who are going to be doing some of the big interviews. But let's face it, when they were talking about cards, if it wasn't Ruben, it was Luber that was doing everything. It was Luber whose face was everywhere. That's what's going to be interesting going forward, is if the CEO and the COO and all of that, if they're going to be the ones talking, if Ruben's going to do all the talking, or are they going to let their chief vision officer, stay in the public eye? Because so far that vision seems to have led to them changing a couple things up.
Well, it'll be interesting to see where everybody in the hobby's working in a year.
Yes. You got that. There has been a lot of movement in the hobby lately. There's going to be a lot more hobby movement going on here in the near future, a whole lot more. I don't think that we're near done seeing a lot of the movement in terms of people going in different places. We already saw a big replacement this year with Tracy Hackler obviously going to Kentucky Roadshow and Jeff Hoffer stepping in for him. You've seen so many big moves already, but even beyond the actual people moving, I think you're going to see a lot of companies move. A lot of consolidation coming in, I think, is going to be coming up post-national. We always get that big news cycle from the events and everything that happens, all of the meetings and things like that happen during that week, because there's a lot of them in a lot of conference rooms that happen quite a bit. But I think after that, you're going to see a lot of communication and a lot of people, maybe moving places, and a lot of companies probably combining into a lot of other areas. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot more people move this year.
Well, Drew, is it just me, or does it seem like it was just like a year ago that Sue's left Tops and it was like the craziest thing ever, and now they hired Emily, now she's leaving? It just makes me wonder, like, if it's just their personal preferences or if there's something going on at Tops. Like, I don't know.
Or is it a step? Is it a stepping stone? I mean, a lot of people they'll take jobs in a position and work there for 6 months to a year just as a stepping stone to move up. So,
well, I know Emily really, really well. As obviously they helped sponsor Let Her Rip and stuff, and Emily, that one was a little bit of a shock to me. And I've spoken to her, and it's leave all of it off record, but I will say that it was a little bit of a shock, and she definitely would have stayed. I can put it to you that way. She definitely would have stayed. But some certain things transpire, and it's sad to see someone like Emily go, but I hope it's not. It was all happy when everyone jumped up and they were like, hey, Tops was bought by Fanatics, but they brought in all the employees. They kept all the employees. This is awesome. Well, now you're seeing a lot of those key employees leaving. You're seeing a lot of those key employees either going out the door, quitting, getting fired, a lot of stuff behind the scenes on that area as Fanatics brings in their team. And so you're starting to, like I said earlier, it all rounds back to this, I think, is that you're really starting to see Fanatics' vision finally start to be implemented in certain areas of the company almost on a weekly basis, whether it be cutting distribution 50%. I think that was probably a step done to allocate that 50 to wherever they want their new distribution to be. I think so. They went on and took that away. So I think they're kind of showing you where they're going in that area. Now we're adding in CEOs. I think they're really starting to show you how this is going to be. And I think some of the people there in the beginning were there because, hey, Fanatics looked at it and probably said, hey, we got a chance to buy this. Let's buy it. Luber convinced them of it. I'll tell you this, he's a great businessman. He can convince you and sell you on some stuff. So he sold me on paying way more than I should have on some cards. So he's a good businessman. I can see how he sold them on buying Tops. But, now I think you're seeing the real deal come in and what Fanatics wants to do.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got some comments here in the chat. What's going on, everybody? Dan, what's up, my man? How's everything going? Sports Cards Detour. Rex, Emily, did Emily announce online where she's going? Because I know, but I can't say unless it's been published. Does anyone know if she published where she's going?
I don't think so.
I do not believe she announced it live. She will be around. You'll be able to see her plenty, but not my place. So, yeah, you'll probably be hearing an announcement soon. But I do want to give a quick shout out while we're on that to Emily, because first of all, filling Sue's shoes, those are some shoes to fill. Sue's kept tops afloat and kept tops running when they were just a complete and total mess. And when she left, those were massive shoes to fill, and Emily did it incredibly. And now someone else has got to fill those shoes, and it is not an easy job. Emily dealt with so much more than people know. It's important to get somebody strong in there, and I hope Fanatics has a good idea for it. Let's just not move Luber to it. No, just joking. Everything, but we do. But Rex, I do not believe she's announced it. I would check her socials. She should be announcing it soon. I'll message her after this show, see if it's cool to maybe drop that out. But not my place to announce that, at least as of now. But yes, Sue's did just leave Golden. So Sue's, as we're talking about other stuff, Sue's going to different places as well. Everybody, there's a lot of transition. Sue's is leaving Golden for something amazing as well. Both Sue's and Emily will have some amazing stuff going on here in the coming months. Like, absolutely incredible stuff. They're both moving on to some incredible things. What's up, Jason? I don't know about that. I thought famous would be the word. My son's more famous than me. I can put a video up, it gets 5,000 views. I put 30 seconds of baseball highlights, he gets 50,000. Dang it. I just need to be an 11-year-old playing, or a 7-year-old playing baseball, and I'm good to go, apparently. But Dan Feldstein asked in the comments, can you elaborate on the distribution cuts? Maybe that he had heard this wrong. Herman, do you know much about it, or would you like me to get into it and then you guys kind of go off? Or
I've heard a little bit, but I mean, I'm like, Dan, I don't know if I've just been picking up on hearsay. I hadn't seen Fanatics post anything directly, but.
Well, they didn't actually post anything. There was no real, massive press release. But what it is Fanatics has cut 50% of distribution to stores. So hobby shops, everything across the line, that was cut 50% across the board. Now, they say they want to focus a lot more of that on D2C, direct to consumer, online stuff. However, they didn't give any percentiles. They didn't say anything. They didn't give a time frame. It was just a generalization put in there. And a lot of people said right out of the gate, because, it wouldn't be the hobby if we didn't overreact. A lot of people were saying, oh my God, they're destroying card shops, blah, blah, blah. This is ridiculous. They're taking already 50%. What's next? They're going to ruin everything. No, I don't think that's what this is at all. Personally, I think this is something that they probably felt was necessary after a boardroom meeting I'm unqualified to be in was held. They probably decided, hey, we need to do this to start getting our distribution that we want to put in place going. And so I think they started with that and kept moving. But they did cut 50% of distribution in terms of allocation going to collectors and things like that. And we don't know what's going to happen and how they're going to distribute all of that. But, 50%, that's a pretty big deal. And it's going to, some of the big stores, the big breakers and everything like that, they're going to be just fine. But the smaller breakers, the smaller shops that struggle with allocation and distribution, This is something where it's going to hurt him in the long run. I mean, it's really going to hurt people in the long run. I know our local store here struggles with allocation. His stuff, he normally gets 6 to 8 boxes of it started with Series 2 and Sterling and all that. His Sterling was cut almost 75%. His Series 2 was cut quite a bit. So, that's what's going on right now.
Yeah, I went to my LCS last Saturday, and it was mainly football and basketball releases. I mean, it was a little bit of Series 2, but then other top stuff was Star Wars, pretty much. That was like pretty much it.
So they're cutting out, what they've cut out already is the direct accounts from card shops. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the people that actually have allocation, like the card shops, and some are breakers. Some breakers have allocation, like Latent Sports Cards, things like that. Geo Breaks, places like that, they have allocation and things like that. But that allocation and all of that stuff was cut in half of what they were given to shops and everything along those lines. So if you've got people that have been trying to build up allocation, the last couple people that could get it, I mean, you're already struggling to get allocation as it is. If that allocation's cut 50%, your whole game plan's got to change. And
Right.
Rex here, who always has us on, shout out to Rex Gotcher, always has us up on in the shop. There you go, Drew learned to talk this morning. As he owns his own shop, like you said, they also cut out several distributors. So you've literally, they've cut out almost all these distributors, and it's going to have a ripple effect, I think, but I do think it's temporary. I think it's very temporary. And I think it's until they can get their distribution method that they want in place. I'm convinced now they know exactly where they're going with it, or they wouldn't have made this move. But I think they felt this move was necessary in order to start fulfilling these contracts, getting this stuff moving, showing that the stuff is available, showing that it's ready to be done. So because Ruben's the type of guy, when he signs a deal, he wants it to start immediately. And so I see the 50% as an interesting cut. But yes, Rex, shops that do buy direct from Tops do remain unchanged. So it is, like I said, it was a case of cutting it to distributors, not just in general.
He says the big three, and I'm assuming that's the three that we all.
You're looking at GCI. What are the names? I always forget. What's it called? Walmart's guys. Whatever their names are, GCI and the other guys you're looking at, they're pretty much getting all of it, and we'll see what happens. But a lot of people, especially smaller breakers, are definitely going to have an issue with this. And Rex is dead on right here. I do think we're going to see more direct accounts, because this is a move to reduce third-party. MJ Holdings, thank you. Third-party distributors. This is getting rid of those third-party distributors. And if we can cut out Dave and Adams, Blowout, and all that from getting 99% of all the boxes and setting the price market on everything, then I think that would be amazing. The problem is we still have Panini at the moment who's able to do that. So
this theoretically could help out a lot of the smaller local card shops. If you got a direct consumer account, couldn't they just pick them up there?
Yeah, the problem is like Rex says, they buy, but they don't get dozens and dozens of cases. Like and that's where I'm saying, like, some of these, not everyone needs dozens and dozens of cases, but like my LCS is lucky if they're allocated 2 or 3 boxes on some stuff. Like if you didn't get allocation before the boom, any of those last allocation stuff that they put out before they just stopped giving it out, you're getting such small stuff. Like your amount is so small to begin with that you're buying secondary market within a week anyway, if you're doing your job and your business is running successful. Mm-hmm. And so it's a little bit tough. But if we can get those markups to change from the $250 products that are now selling for over 22 grand, that MSRP at like 360 or whatever. I mean, if we can cut some of that out and change that, then that's awesome. But with Blowout, Dave Adams, Steel City, all that stuff, you've got to knock some of that out as well, and I think they will. But I do want to touch on one thing that Mr. Jason Schuett said earlier, and that has to do with Panini and their printing right now, because we were talking about Tops and everything right there, but Dan says, first of all, that he thought Panini would do this long ago. Yeah, like I was saying, 350 direct, retail 1600, massive margins. But Jason Schuett says he believes they're printing as much as they can right now, ruining a lot of card values. Now, I want to explain something that I think a lot of people don't understand about how print runs are determined. And then I'd like to get your guys' feelings on what you think about Panini as well. Tops surveys card shops, and they have and other people in the industry, breakers, other things like that. They have a list, and they survey these people. They ask them, how much do you expect? What do you expect the demand to be? They take these numbers, they crunch these numbers. That's how Tops comes up with print runs for every product they do. Panini takes this pen, sharpens it up, and throws it at a dartboard, finds a number on it. Pretty much just taking a shot in the dark and taking a guess as to what they think overall demand is going to be based on previous year's sales. And so Tops is a little more, accurate maybe of what the true desire and demand is. But Panini also, in many years, has underprinted by not doing that research. So what Panini is going to do from now and then, I'm not sure. But one thing I do know is that Panini is not planning on leaving the card industry anytime soon. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see Panini and certain products under another familiar flagship name very soon. But what do you guys think about Panini right now in terms of printing cards?
Well, I remember a little bit ago. I mean, this was a little bit ago, but I remember buying a Joe Burrow Select Prism Silver like a year ago or something like that. I remember it was like $100 card or something like that at the time. But then I just kept watching, and then a while later I looked it up again, and I saw it was that they were listed for $40. I was like, what? He's in the Super Bowl right now, and his cart, and it's down to $40. That just it didn't make sense to me. So,
right.
And then this year's Prism, I just see people opening it everywhere. And then there's a no huddle. Then there's all the retail formats. I mean, there's just the Silver Prism rookie in 2017. That all the Prism rookies were silvers.
Right, yeah. Yeah, Mahomes year, McCaffrey, all of them. They were all silvers.
And now you see silver rookies. And even if I got a Trevor Lawrence silver, how excited would I be? Yes, it's a solid card, but who knows how many of the silvers they're printing now? Because I don't know. I just wonder how many silvers and greens, all those unnumbered parallels, how many of those they print.
Well, and that's the scary part because, Tops, they show you, like Jim says, right off the bat, they show you what they're going to print with stated print odds, everything like that on the back of boxes. Although Topps Sterling, the numbers are way off. If you look at what Sterling says is in the box and look at the checklist, check it out. We're about 3,000, 4,000 cards in the low-end product that are quote-unquote missing from the checklist. So interested to see what those are, or if it's just a general mix-up like the 70th edition Superfractors. But Panini, they don't announce this stuff. They can reprint. They can do all that stuff. They can reprint a second round of retail. There's a lot of stuff they can do.
Well, that's what I wonder too, because Topps does all their odds, but like you said, we don't get to see the odds from Panini. So
exactly,
we probably could figure it out, and then who knows what would happen to the values if we could figure out how many Trevor Lawrence silver prisms they printed.
Oh, we'll find out probably in a year. We'll have a general idea. I do disagree with Jason. I appreciate the second part, but I do think there's quite a bit of value in Prism retail. I just think that
Prism retail more than Prism hobby.
I do too. I enjoy it 10 times more because for one, I've had better luck. And honestly, base cards, guys. Base cards are going to be where they're at. Prism are going to be some of the higher end, quote unquote, base cards, but everything else, it is what it is. And so, base cards, parallels, I have tons of them. The red, white, and blues, I love every year. Like, I enjoy that stuff. Now, are they automatic get rich boxes? No. Is it going to be a struggle to pull silvers and everything compared to UFC? Probably, with UFC only having like one color per blaster. It is getting a little more thinned out, but at the same time, it could end up making some of those parallels worth more. But it's one of the things where we're going to have to see where the demand is. And obviously, these companies who do a lot more, they're the ones that are paying attention, at least in my opinion. And yes, Jason, no huddle is nice, but that statement, that's one of those things, man. I can show you a break of first off the line that probably looks like the greatest break of all time. I can show you a case of regular Prism that's probably the greatest break of all time. And I can show you a no huddle break that's probably the greatest Prism break of all time. There's great cases in all of them. There's cases, there's rough cases, there's awesome boxes, there's tough boxes. That's just how it is in all these choices.
There's a limit.
All right, go ahead, Urban.
No, I was just saying there's a limit in everything you get. There's always a limit. So
yeah.
Well, exactly. Even think about the Prism hobby box you've got there, Drew. In 2019 Prism, it was
first off the line. No.
First off the line. Okay. It used to be 3 autos and 12 numbered cards in 2019. 2020, 2 autos, 11 numbered prisms.
Yeah.
Now is it 2 autos and 10 numbered prisms?
2 autos, 10 numbered prisms, 4 silvers.
So it just seems like the
one rookie
and the
one rookie silver if you're lucky.
So the numbered parallels and the autographs have gone down.
Yeah.
Since 2019, which seems like an eternity ago, but it's really not.
I know.
But the different versions of parallels have went up.
Oh yeah. Oh, right, absolutely. Yeah. The parallels are absurd. Yeah. We opened a box of debut edition Optic basketball last night, 2016-2017. There were 4 parallels, including the 1-of-1. There was a base hollow, there was a purple, there was a checkerboard, and there was a black 1-of-1. Now, granted, you had a couple retail SKUs, so add in maybe 4 retail colors, and then there you go. You've got a 7, 8, 9 card rainbow. I can deal with that. I want to show you right now. I'm missing 2 cards from an autograph parallel from Prism Draft this year. And I want to show you this right here on camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and we've got like 3 or 4 left. And that's draft. Yeah, that's not,
draft, Well, because that's funny that you mentioned that too, because I started doing just for fun, because I thought me and my dad thought it would be funny to try and do it. We started a Boomer Esiason mosaic parallel, and we've got like all the retail parallels, all that stuff, and I think a numbered parallel and the Genesis. And that's already like 15 or 14 or 15 of the parallels. And We don't even really have any of the hobby parallels or no huddle parallels or anything.
This is what I miss. Give me a nice 3-card rainbow. Just 3 nice little colors, a base, a double, a triple. We don't need them showing my abs because we're about to win the Stanley Cup. Whoop, whoop. But
that's about where I'm at. Like with the I accidentally, I didn't really set out to do it, but after I picked up a few cards on eBay, I got to looking at this year's top inception. It's like, I think 8 cards total to get all the parallels, and that's including the 1-of-1. So, I mean, that's kind of that's an idealistic rainbow. I mean, it's something that anybody can achieve outside of possibly the 1-of-1. I mean, if you happen to pull the 1-of-1, you might as well go ahead and get the rainbow of that player, regardless of who it is, because once you get it, you can get every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked up all the Freemans off eBay, and I'm in it for under $60.
Oh yeah, the rainbow I'm doing that I just showed you, it's a Blake Prohl from East Carolina. Super cheap, fun rainbows to do. I did I'm doing the Thomas Davis Mosaic Man of the Year one from this year. But I'm only doing certain colors that I like, not the whole rainbow, because the Mosaic rainbows take an entire binder. But like you said, you can get the big cards. You can get a nice looking one for relatively nice. But if you look at the change in rainbows and the change in colors is just absurd. Like you were talking about, Brody, these 10 numbered prisms, I would much rather have 3 or 4 of the same color numbered prism than 5 different numbered and different colored ones that are all numbered in the 200s and 100s.
And really, too, we kind of have to count the color blast as a part of the parallel, too. Some people might count that as technically being in the parallel list.
Yeah.
Even though it's like 1 in 10 cases, I think they said. Something like that. But yeah, I started that Mosaic Rainbow, and I think I have like 20 of the cards, and pretty much they're all retail except 2 of them, I think. I think 1 hobby and 1's no huddle, and then the rest are all retail parallels. It's insane. And that was the first year Mosaic. They've probably added more parallels since then.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they did.
So how many parallels are they
now? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Way too freaking many.
30.
Probably you're looking. I would assume, and I'll bet you this is a good guesstimate. I'll go between 42 and 50. Between 42 and 50, I'd say to complete a rainbows. I'm sure there's someone that has that count, but I'd guess now you're looking at about 42 to 50 based on other years and things that I've counted and things that I've seen. And it's
got like 5 different variations of every color in the rainbow.
Yeah.
And then animal prints and
Oh, if there's an animal, they'll do it. I'm waiting on Chupacabra parallels. I'm waiting on all these, but we'll see.
Well, even think about what was it? Oh, Bowman or Bowman Chrome. It's pretty much, I think, till once you get to 99, there would be like the green and the green shimmer, gold and the gold shimmer.
Well, and now they added in the lavas. That's just another parallel that they can make a refractor version of, and then 30 different colors of. Like, I mean, it's yeah. Dan here does have a good point. From opening standpoint or breaker, I like that the parallels offer value to my customers. The interesting content factor goes up. Now, I do agree with that. If you're breaking cards, this can be a lot more fun and that's an interesting dynamic and a great way of looking at it, honestly. That's a great one, Dan. Now, we complain about how many there are, but I also think that we're 3 people that don't get into a ton of breaks. There are a ton of people in the hobby that get into millions of them. And to them, I can easily see how this is a lot more appealing. I know watching Series 1 tops is the most excruciating break I've ever seen in my life, because you open up 8 million cards for 2 colors and one's a gold, and the other's a rainbow foil. So, I mean, it's nuts. And so I do see, from an opening standpoint, having those hits, because you're not getting a million autos, you're not getting sick RPAs all the time, even though there are some good ones in Prism. But I do think there's some excellent value for customers in terms of watching, because, they're the ones that are buying it and buying it to open.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're speaking of the parallels, and when I watch, and I'm sure somebody else on here does too, but watching Bo every morning, 1 million Cubs.
Yeah,
there's a group of us in there that was kind of just talking in the chat about possibly buying some Series 2, and just a bunch of us get together and do a live draft. It's kind of a box break between friends,
Yeah.
And it was brought up by several of them to look for either blasters or hangers, just because you have you got a patch card in every blaster box. The hangers has like 3 parallels guaranteed in every hanger.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's something more for everybody that way. So I mean, I can see that point as well.
Well, that's why I like the breaks I do. Even if it's like a leaf product or a draft product,
Yeah.
I like doing random packs or random hit breaks better.
Right.
Even if they're 30 or $40, because at least I know I'm getting something compared to some of these. Like if you get in a single box break of Prism, my random team would probably be, how much did you say a box Prism is?
Well, I mean, like, this box of first off the line, anywhere from, if you can get it cheap, $2,000, but normally around 22 and everything after taxes and shipping and all that. But between 2 and 22 probably.
So it'd be like $60 ish to get a random, probably more than that to get a random team.
And like Dan says, 1 box of regular Prism, about 35, 45 a spot or so per team and things like that.
Crazy. I remember too, I was looking through a random box and I found 2019 Series 2, and there were like 40 gold sitting there. I was like, oh my goodness. I used to get so many golds and not get excited about them. And now I opened the product this year and I'm glad if I get 1 gold in a box.
Yeah. We actually hit a gold Ramonde Stevenson auto the other day, which was pretty sweet out of Prism, which wasn't bad. I do want to address a comment from Chris Harris right here regarding this. He says that this is also the reason the product has dozens of parallels, as these products are designed now for breakers, not collectors. And I'm gonna half agree with that, but I know you, so I know where this is coming from, and this is coming from a place of resentment towards it, as opposed to just actually looking at it. And I would argue that a lot of people getting in breaks are collectors. Like, in my opinion, there's more collectors getting into breaks than there are collectors that are just buying cards at shows. Like, if I'm saying, like, I mean, the people that are getting into breaks, especially pick your team breaks, 99% of them, maybe not in all the big break rooms that fill 85 cases a week, but if you go into small break rooms and things like that, there are, and I mean, Dan, Jim, everyone, I know you guys run some break groups, you can attest to this. There are people that grab their team every single time. Doesn't matter the break, they want their team every single time. And so, while yes, breaking is getting bigger in these products and the amount of parallels probably does go to the breaking area, that, in my opinion, that's where a lot of collectors are too. And that honestly is where the hobby's moving to. Like that, I mean, the hobby is moving towards the online area. Breaking is a huge aspect of it. It's always going to be. So, I understand it from that level. You are correct. That is where the number of parallels, I think, rises exponentially, is, how can we provide more entertainment for breakers? But it's that I would argue there's a lot more actual collectors in brakes than there are than people think, at least.
Yeah, I agree with you, Drew. I mean, I know one of the break rooms that I break with a lot. I know a guy that does football mainly, and every break he gets into, he does a lot of random team breaks. And no matter what team he could get the Jaguars or he could get the Falcons.
He
Or
trades.
Falcons are actually good this year. The Bears or something like that, and he will go for the Steelers because that's his team.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's a $50 team, and it doesn't matter. He just wants the Steelers because he wants his cards.
Yep, that's the way I'd be. I mean, in the way I collect. I mean, all I collect is Braves and 3 or 4 players. I don't want to get into a picky team and end up with the
Marlins
or
right.
Yeah, I wouldn't even want the Rays because even
right.
with Juan Franco, I mean, yeah, if I hit a Juan Franco, I'm just going to get rid of it and get the cards I want. So I'd be more apt like Bo is just do a picky team so that I know off the rip that I've got what I want.
Yeah.
My teams are always expensive though. That's the problem. When Robert was a rookie and Fields is a rookie, it was too hard.
Hey, become a Panther fan, man. It's always cheap. It's always cheap.
Ever since 2017, that'd be
it's the same way with the Braves, Brody. It's like every they're one of the top. They're up there with the Dodgers and the Yankees, and so.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
As soon as your team drafts a quarterback in the draft in a higher round, it's like, well, not going to pick your team breaks with that.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Gym randoms can be tough. There's some really interesting, fun new ways, some BOGOs and some cool different ways on breaks that people are doing. But I just see a lot of collectors in breaks. Speaking of cards, since we got about 10 minutes left. This is something. Oh yeah, don't remind me of Will Greer, Dan. Screw you. They might as well bring out Jimmy Clausen too. Vinny Testaverde. You really want me to go down our list of bad quarterbacks? I can do it. Vinny Testaverde was like 89 years old when he suited up for us. But I wanted to ask you guys something, and this was something that was interesting to me. We could probably spend an entire episode on it. I think a lot of people in the comments or in the watching the show have an opinion on this, but this was brought up earlier this week and it was very interesting to me. Now, it's not on all cards by any means. It's on certain cards, select cards, quote unquote. But it was pointed out that right now, a Justin Herbert select field level silver prism in its raw format is selling for more than that same card in a PSA 9 slab. So the raw is selling for more than a PSA 9 on a Justin Herbert silver. Now, when I saw that, immediately I thought, okay, outlier, got to be fake sales. Thank God for our awesome buddies at Card Ladder. They verify this stuff. These are a lot of verified and paid sales. Secondly, I started looking at other cards. For the most part, PSA 9s obviously are selling for more than raw and quite a bit. But for these cards and certain cards like that, you're starting to see the raw cards, which I can look at them on eBay and see flaws right away that they're going to get a 9. But yet they're paying more for them than cards already slabbed in a PSA 9. What do you guys think about this? And honestly, like how long is this going to last before people realize that a PSA 9 is actually a good grade on a card?
The only thing you could do there is if you want to get the raw card, okay, but you better look at it on eBay and make sure it looks flawless, because if you grade to get a PSA 9, you just made the funniest joke and story you're going to have to tell your grandkids about buying that card.
Exactly.
But
it makes no sense.
it seems like you kind of alluded to it. I mean, it's like they're buying the raw, holding out, hoping for that 10, and it's just people that I guess they don't know how to actually look at the card and judge a grade. Like, I mean, I couldn't do it, but I don't grade, so
Right.
I wouldn't be trying to look for a card and assume whether or not it was a 10 or not. If I wanted a graded card, I'd go after the already slab card.
Well, I mean, absolutely. And I'll tell you right now, I mean, shoot, if it means that much to you, the difference between raw in this card in particular, which, guys, this is actually a great play for you if you want. This card, the difference, they're hard to find because there's not a lot posted right now, but the difference in raw and PSA 9 is so big, it's worth buying a PSA 9, cracking it out of the slab, cleaning it, resubmitting it under value or economy, and trying to get a 10. Like, if you can find a 9 with good eye appeal, and you're going to make a ton of money because the 10s are up almost to like $700 or $800. Like, it's insane. So it's worth paying the 50. And I think 9s are at about like 180, 200, but raws are at like 250, 280, almost 300. It's insanity to me. And you can look at them and see the issues. I mean, yes, I do ISS cards. So, I mean, I can see the stuff a little more than most, like right off the bat, but you can see the issues. And I just don't understand it. And I really hope people start to see that a PSA 9 is a good card, because newsflash, everybody, quality controlling cards, a PSA 8 is considered an industry standard good card. A PSA 8. That's why if you pull a card and you grade it within a year, if it grades lower than an 8, Panini and Topps will replace that card, unless obviously it's a 101 or something like that. But if you get 6s, things like that, they'll replace them, because the industry standard out of a print line, out of printing, out of the facilities at least, is an 8. So a 9 is a good card. It is something nice, but to see that, I thought that blew my mind. When I saw that, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. People are paying almost $100 more for an unslabbed card when you've got one slabbed as a 9 right there. And obviously 99% of these aren't slabbed for a reason. I mean, who's not going to slab a field level Justin Herbert silver if you don't think it's going to 10? How many people? Not many.
Well, this great. I have an interesting question for you then, Drew. You
Yeah.
see a lot of vintage stuff. I mean, I'll take like the Derek Jeter or the Mariano Rivera rookie cards, and you see the PSA 10 go way up. If you graded it and thought maybe it had a chance to get a 10 and it gets a 9, 9s are a lot lower than 10s.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. Wouldn't you just be better cracking it out and either sending it to Beckett or try resending the PSA and just see if it gets 10 or gets a 9.5 at Beckett?
You got one of my secrets, buddy. You figured out one of my secrets, my man. 1,000%. And it works quite a bit. Hey, one of my favorite searches is CSG 9.5. I'll tell you that right now. You can get them at raw prices, sometimes even a little bit more. Crack them, sub them. It's an automatic 10. It's part of the game. But seeing raw prices hit above PSA 9s is just weird to me. And it's absurd. And Jim, I do too. Jim, a perfect example of that. Everyone go look at the pop report on Russell Wilson contenders autos. He was supposed to have, I believe there was 25 autos or so total in the set, and I believe last check 60 some had been graded. So the amount of times that they'd been trying to regrade is astronomical. Regrading happens all the time. And countless cards. I mean, my LeBron, which is on a slab strong necklace right now, but my LeBron has been resubmitted probably 2 or 3 times that I know of. I only submitted once, but it had been submitted a lot. Resubmitting is definitely a major big deal, but that's something that PSA is actually going to be working on, fingerprint IDing. You're going to be able to tell in the very near future if your card's been graded before. Oh wow, Jim just asked, will they ever prevent that? Preventing it is going to be hard. If they're going to say no, I doubt it, but there is going to be a way to tell if the card has been graded before. How exactly that's going to happen, I'm not sure, but we have been told, and with the Geniment acquisition, that was one of the big things that they talked about on an episode. Let me get that potograph, at least, was that they were enabling a strict fingerprint ID for these cards to be able to see exactly if it was graded once or twice before. So we'll have to see on that end, but just wait with the national coming up with the news that all these companies are going to have, that the innovation that's coming in the hobby, and whether it be security measures, new products, everything is astronomical. And here we are right in the middle of June. We're almost a month away from the best time of year, Christmas for all of us at the national. I mean, you're going to see a lot of news and stuff come out then. But yes, there is plans in place to track regrading. And when that comes out, who knows? It'll take a lot more than UV lights, I'll tell you that. But Geniment system and a couple other things they're working on should be able to get that under control, which that'll also help with a lot of the trimming because a lot of the trimming now is being done with pressing. So that'll help a lot with the press machines and everything as well.
I have one more question for you, Drew, because you mentioned national. I want to bring this up. How many of these do you think that Panini makes?
That year, 2021, a decent amount. 2019, there were not that many, but there's not a ton of those. How many you got?
Well, I'm just curious. Do you think the sticker color matters?
No.
Okay, because I went to a card shop and they had the pink stickers for 600 and the orange for 1,000 or something like that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because I guess they thought that people are saying that the oranges had better cards or something, and I don't know. I was just confused.
And that's the 2021 national boxes?
Yeah.
Okay. The only thing that I can think of is that either they're heavier. I mean, honestly, you could probably just weigh them and figure stuff out like that if you really wanted to. From my understanding, they weren't, but I will say that is the year that the gold packs were also messed up to the point where if you got a box of gold packs, every single card in the set, like every relic card, was of the same quarterback. So you there'd be 25 Brady relics in one sleeve. There'd be 25 Russell Wilson. They didn't collate it. So a lot of collation was messed up that year. So they very, very, very easily could have messed up and done something along those lines as well. That's the first I've heard of it, but I'm interested to see it. That's for sure. And I'd love to know if you open it what it's going to be.
Well, it's funny too because I did a giveaway with one on my show, and I got a DeAndre Ayton rookie flawless collegiate one. And then I filmed one for my YouTube video, and it was the exact same card in a different color. And I was trying so hard not to laugh on my YouTube video because I knew I pulled pretty much the exact same card that I was giving away on my show. I was just so confused.
Yeah. No, that's something I've never seen, but I guarantee you I'm gonna look into it and I will let you know here very, very soon. Because I know a couple people that will know the answer if there is one. From my understanding, no, and that looks to me like someone that just put stickers on different ones and is taking a guess and pulling
a little stickers at dollar store and just
that's what I'm saying.
Put on different stickers. Oh,
I've got them here. I've got them literally here in my supply closet. I could put two of them on two boxes. What's that?
It's like an inventory type deal with the stickers.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's why I have a feeling this is more of a shop owner or a seller that says, okay, I've got some of the big hits out of this group, so there's probably not one here. Maybe there is here. I don't know.
Were those given out at the National last year?
it was it was through like missing redemptions and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you bring
a lot though.
Yeah, one thing I do at the National every year, man, and this is a great tip for everybody. What's going on, Antonio from Mexico? Thanks for tuning in, brother. International today as we wrap the show up. One thing I do before every National is buy expired Panini redemptions. I buy tons of them, and I will buy a lot of them. But you can take Panini expired redemptions, and you can take redemptions that have been unfulfilled. You can bring them to them and exchange them for those boxes and things along those lines. Similar to the white boxes and stuff that you see on social media and everything, except for these are National exclusive. Normally, they have a lot nicer cards in them. The checklist is normally a lot more, it's a lot lower down to some of the top athletes and stuff like that.
That's the only other thing that I think they were saying is like the sticker would depend on how much redemption value you brought or something like that. I don't
know. That could be. They could have they could have marked it like that.
That's the one thing that could make sense.
Yep. No, absolutely. But that's a little tip for you guys. If you want to get those boxes, go look at some good players or expired redemptions that you can get online. You can get them cheap. Looks like we did lose our man 3B here real quick. We'll let him get back on here, but we are running a little bit late, so we'll give 3B a minute to hop back on. I do want to announce a couple things. This will be a good time to announce everything as we wrap up today's show. Thanks everybody so much for tuning in. Of course, we yep. All right, Herman. It looks like he's out for the day, so Herman will be back next episode. Oh, there he is. He's on. There he is. There you go. You're back, buddy. But
yeah, I'll drop. I hope to have that fixed by Monday.
Oh, you're good to go. But guys, before we wrap up, wanted to announce something really, really awesome. First off, this Tuesday, make sure to check out the show. We've got Chris Harris and Michael Moynihan and a surprise host as well. All going to be hosting on Tuesday. But guys, very, very excited. We did it last year and it was a blast. We're going to be doing it this year also. We're going to be part on June 25th, Saturday, June 25th at our normal time frame, 11 a.m. We'll be part of Hobbypalooza 2022. All the guys over there, absolutely awesome. Cannot wait to do the show. We've got it's awesome. Bench Clear Media puts on a great event every year. If you're unfamiliar with it, it's a day full of hobby content. It's run throughout the day, all types of different shows. We'll be on at our regular 11 p.m. time slot, but really looking forward to being a part of Hobbypalooza 2022, as last year's was absolutely awesome. So you'll be seeing a lot of the hosts of the show on our show that day. It'll be a little bit different show. That will be the 25th of June. So that's going to be next Saturday. So make sure to tune in to that.
I think I have a baseball game exactly at 10 o'clock next Saturday.
I feel you, brother.
I'll be in Spartanburg.
Nice. Nothing wrong with being in Spartanburg. Spartanburg's awesome. But yes, guys, so Hobbypalooza next weekend, Tuesday this week for Hobby Hotline overtime as always. But guys, another good episode.
Yeah. Thank you, Drew.
Yeah, number 158 is in the books. Guys, once again, we'll be live every single Saturday at 11 a.m. Brody, always good to see you. Herman, it's a pleasure, my friend. And everyone out there, we'll see you guys on Tuesday.
So,
see ya.